गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामभित्रयवधू गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोध इषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुदते नमः याध इषुः शिवतमा शिवं बभूवते धनुः शिवा शरव्या यादवदयानो रुद्रमृदया यादे रुद्रशिवा धनुरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवा छन्दमया गिरिजन्धाभिजागशीः यामिषं गिरिजन्धहस्ते विपश्यस्तवे शिवां गिरिददां कुरु माहि गुंसि पुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा ध्वा गिरिजाच्च वदामसि यदा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असद् अद्य वोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो देव्योऽभिषग् 𝐂𝐴𝐸𝐿 सर्वान् जम्बयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्थाम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रु सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिदा सहस्रशो वैशाखुं एदईमहे असौ यावसर्वदिनीरग्रीवो विलोहितः उदैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उदैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृदयादिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीदुषे अतो ये अस्य सद्वानोऽहं देव्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्चदन्वनस्तमुभयोराग्नियोज्याम् याश्च देहस्त इषवः परादा भगवो बभा अवदद्यदनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षजदेशुरे ऋषिरशल्यानां मुखा शिवो न सुमना भव विद्यं धनुः कवर्दिनो विजल्यो बाणवागुं उदा अनेशन्नस्येषव आपुरस्य निशं गदिः या देहेतिर्मीदुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्तमयक्ष्मय परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नाददाय कृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुदते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वदः अतो य इषुदिष्टवारे अस्मन्निदेहिदम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिगाग्निघालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनानेदिजाम्जपदये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पदये नमो नमः। सस्विञ्जराय द्विषेमदेवतीनां पदये नमो नमो बभ्लुजाय विव्याधिनेनानां पदये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीदिने पुष्टानां पदये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगदां पदये नमो नमो रुद्राय ददाविने क्षेत्राणां पदये नमो नमः। सूदाय हन्याय वनानां पदये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्तपदये वृक्षाणां पदये नमो नमो मन्द्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पदये नमो नमो भुवन्दये वारिवस्कृतायोषधीनां पदये नमो नमः। उच्चैकोशाय ग्रन्थयदे बद्धीनां पदये नमो नमः। कृत्स्नवीदाय दावदे सद्वनां पदये नमः। नमः सहमानाय निर्व्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पदये नमो नमः। ककुबाय निषङ्गिने सेनानां पदये नमो नमो निषङ्गिन इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पदये नमो नमो वञ्जदे बहिवञ्जदे स्थायूनां पदये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचराय अरण्यानां पदये नमो नमः। श्रीगाविभ्यो जिगागुंदद्भ्यो मुष्णदां पदये नमो नमो सिमद्भ्यो नक्तं चरद्भ्यः प्रगन्धानां पदये नमो नमः। उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्जानां पदये नमो नमः। इषुमद्योदन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। आदन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिददानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। आयच्छद्यो वृषजद्यश्च वो नमो नमो यद्यो विद्यद्यश्च वो नमो नमः। आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। स्वपद्यो जागृद्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो दावद्यश्च वो नमो नमः। सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्यो अश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः। नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविद्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। उगनाभ्यस्तृगं हदिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपदिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपदिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्यः शुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रतिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। सेनाभ्यः सेनानीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। क्षत्रियाणां शक्तिर्भ्यः षण्गहीतर्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथधारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्यो धन्वकृद्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः प्रभ्यश्वपदीभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिगन्धाय च नमः कवर्दिने च युक्तगेजाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिजाय च शिबिविष्टाय च नमो मीदुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहदे च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च समृद्ध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवेजाजिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीघ्राय च नमः ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः सोदस्याय च द्विव्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय च वरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय च बगल्वाय च नमो जगन्याय च बुद्ध्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च कल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय च वदान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आजुषेणाय चाजुरदाय च नमः शूराय जावविन्धते च नमो वर्मिने च वरोदिने च नमो बिल्मिने च गवचिने च नमः स्तुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय च हनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृजाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिने चेषुधिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णे च वेचायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः कृत्याय च वद्याय च नमः काद्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैजन्दाय च नमः कूप्याय च वत्याय च नमो वश्याय च वश्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईद्रियाय च दप्याय च नमो वाद्याय च रेश्मियाय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुवाय च ॐ हर 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 ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वदाय च दूरे वदाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवधराय च नमस्तीद्याय च कूल्याय च नमः भार्याय जावार्याय च नमः प्रदरनाय चोदरनाय च नमः आधार्याय जालाद्याय च नमः चष्व्याय जवेन्याय च नमः त्रिगद्याय जाब्रवाह्याय च नमः ईरिण्याय जाब्रवद्याय च नमः 𝐂𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 च शयनाय च नमः कवर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ट्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्व्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काद्याय च गह्वरेस्ताय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेश्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्क्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्याय च शून्याय च नमः पन्याय च पन्नशद्याय च नमो भगुरमानाय च विघ्नदे च नमः आगिरदे च ब्रक्किरदे च नमो किरिकेभ्यो देवानागं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणगेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नमः निर्हदेभ्यो नमः आमिवत्केभ्यः द्रावे अन्धसस्वदे दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणाम् येषां पशूनां मा रोमो येषां किञ्चन ममद या ते रुद्र शिवा धनो शिवा विश्वः भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी दयानो मृतजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तपसे कवर्दिने शयद्वीराय प्रवरामये मदिं यदा नश्यमसद्विभजे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् निदानो रुद्रोदनो मयस्कृतिक् शयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमदे यच्चं च योश्च मनुराय जे विदातदस्यामतवरुद्ध प्रणीदोः मानो महान्दमुदमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्दमुदमान उक्षिदम् मानो वदिः पितरं मोदमादरं प्रियमानस्तनुवो रुद्धरीरिषः मानस्तोके दनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषुरीरिषः वीरान्मानो रुद्धवामिदो वदिर्हविष्मन्धो नमसा विधेमदे आराधे गोग्न उदुपूरुषग्ने क्षयद्वीराय त्वं नमस्मेरे अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधिजदेव ब्रूयदा च नः शर्म यच्छत् विवर्हाः स्तुहिश्रतं दत्तसदैजुवानं मृगन्न भीममुदमद्दुमुग्रम् विदाचरित्ये रुद्धस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निव बन्धुसेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्विनक्तु परिवेशस्य दुर्मतिरगायोः अवस्थिरामगवद्वयस्तनुष्वामी वस्तोकायतनयाय मृदया मीदुष्टमशिवतम शिवो नः सुमना भव वरमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निदाय कृत्तिं वसान आचन विनागं बिभ्रदागहि विगिरिदविलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुं ह्येदयोन्यमस्मन्निव बन्धुदाः सहस्राणि सहस्रदा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाग्रिदे सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्याम् तेजागं सहस्रयोजने वदन्वानि दन्मसि अस्मिन् महज्जर्नवेन्दरिक्षे भवादि नीरग्रीवाशिरिगन्धा शर्वादः क्षमाचराः नीरग्रीवाशिरिगन्धादिवगुं रुद्र उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु तस्मिन् जरा नीरग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिकाश कवर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविद्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये वदाम्बदिलक्षलैरभृदायव्युदः ये देदानि प्रचरन्ति शिखाबन्धो निषङ्गिनः य एतावन्तस्य भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्राभिदस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वदन्वानि दन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं द्वादो वर्षमिषवस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचे दश दक्षिणा दश प्रदिशे दशोदिशे दशोद्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृदयन्तु देयं विष्णो यश्च नोद्वेष्टितम्भो चम्बे ददामि त्र्यम्बके यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नो यो अप्सु य ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु ये ते सहस्रमयुधं वाजा मृत्यो मध्याय हन्धवे तान्यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो माविशान्तकः तेनानेनाव्ययस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे भाहि तमुस्तु हि यस्विषु सुदन्वायो विश्वस्य च यदि वेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशो मनसाय रुद्रं नमो बिर्देवसुरं दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्ववेशजो यगुं शिव विमरुशनः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः षण्ज मे मयश्च मे प्रियं च मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सोमनसश्च मे भद्रं च मे श्रेयश्च मे वश्यश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे दविनं च मे यन्दा च मे दर्दा च मे क्षेमश्च मे दिदिश्च मे विश्वं च मे महश्च मे संदिच्च मे ज्ञातं च मे सुश्च मे भ्रसुश्च मे क्षीरं च मे लयश्च मर्दं च मे मृदं च मे यक्ष्मं च मे नामयच्च मे जीवादुश्च मे दीर्घायुध्वं च मे नमित्रं च मे भयं च मे सुखं च मे शयनं च मे सुजा च मे सुदिनं च मे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
मंगलचरणा
Sai Baba.
मृत्युञ्जयाय नमो मृत्युञ्जयाय नमो त्र्यम्बकाय नमो त्र्यम्बकाय नमो लिंगेश्वराय नमो लिंगेश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 नमो मृत्युञ्जयाय नमो त्र्यम्बकाय नमो लिंगेश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 नमो
Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. My life is my message, my life is my message, expansion is my life. No reason for love, no reason for love, no birth, no death. Prema Satya Ananda, Shanti Satya Ananda. Satya Ananda, Shanti Dharma Ananda. Shirdi Sai Pati Baba Jai Jai. Shirdi Sai Pati Sai Prema Sai Jai Jai. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food.
ॐ तत्सत् श्री नारायण तु पुरुषोत्तम गुरु तु सिद्ध बुद्ध तु स्कंद विनायक सविता पावक तु सविता पावक तु ब्रह्ममज्ज तु यहोवा शक्ति तु येषु पिता प्रभु तु रुद्र विष्णु तु राम कृष्ण तु रहीमताओ तु रहीमताओ तु वासुदेव गो विश्वरूप तु चिदानंद हरि तु अद्वितीय तु अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिंग शिव तु आत्मलिंग शिव तु आत्मलिंग शिव तु असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear, loving and compassionate Lord, Bhagavan Sri Sai Baba. Loving Sai Rams, respected elders, brothers, sisters, and our Sai blossoms. A very warm welcome to this morning's regional devotional program. Today's program forms part of our regional sadhana camp. The sadhana camp is the culmination of the COD WhatsApp study circle program that commenced on the 8th of February. These study circles were conducted by centers over the past few months. The COD program should form an integral part of all our lives as Sai aspirants, as it is the 9th point in the 9-point code of conduct. Our dear Lord has always led by example, and I will read a few of Professor Anil Kumar's experiences from his talks with regards to Swami's practice of not wasting. Once, Swami started reading letters in front of us. He opened an envelope and took out the letter. A boy had written 2 lines on a long white sheet of paper. There were only 2 lines on the top. The rest of it was blank. What did Baba say? He tore it there and gave the remaining white paper to a boy, saying, "You use it. I don't want you to waste anything, not even white paper." Baba further said, "Don't waste food. Food is God. Don't waste time. Time waste is life waste. Time is God. Don't waste energy. Don't waste water. Don't waste money. Waste of money is evil." He taught these wonderful lessons to the boys who were assembled that afternoon. I recall one of Bhagavan's visits to the boys' hostel. He got out of the car and immediately said, "Hey, come here. On the 3rd floor, a fellow has not turned off the water tap there in the bathroom. Go and close the tap. After using it, you should turn the water off. You should not let the tap run and waste water." That's what Bhagavan said. You must have also noticed that when he calls you for an interview, Bhagavan goes into the room first. As you all go in and sit down, he switches on the fan himself, and the moment you leave, he will turn it off. Why? Don't waste energy. Don't waste electricity. Bhagavan sets the finest example for all of us to learn from his own life. That is why Bhagavan has every authority to say, "My life is my message. My life is my message." As he does not waste anything, we should follow his example and not waste anything either. Swami has changed his earlier statement of "my life is my message" to "your life is my message." He has therefore placed onus on his property, which is his students, his devotees, members of his organizations from all over the world, to practice his teachings to service to mankind. The time had come for each of us to live up to the lofty ideals shown by Bhagavan. Today's infographic is as follows. When man tampers with nature recklessly, it reacts adversely and trouble arises. In order to protect nature, man has to practice sealing on desires. He should not trigger the negative aspect of nature. This was taken from Satya Sai Speaks, Volume 26, Chapter 3, The Predicament of Man Today. Brothers and sisters, today, Brother Shailen from the Yellowwood Park Sai Center will share his experiences on one of the 108 gems.
Aum Sri Sai Ram, who grants the achievement of wisdom. It was the king's court. The ministers, pundits, and artists were all seated in their respective places. The king and his ministers had earned quite a name and fame for their wit and wisdom. One day, a sage entered the court. He was given a warm welcome with all honor due to him. The king asked him, "O revered one, may I know what brings you here?" "We are very happy on account of your presence here today," the sage replied. "O king, your court is reputed for its wit and wisdom. I have brought 3 beautiful dolls, and I would like to have an assessment and evaluation of these dolls done by your ministers." He presented to the king the 3 dolls. The king called his senior-most minister and gave him the dolls for examination and evaluation. The minister just looked once at the dolls and commanded a royal messenger to fetch him a thin steel wire. The minister inserted the wire into the right ear of one of the dolls. The wire came out of the left ear. He kept it aside. He took up another doll and once again passed the wire into its right ear. It came out of the mouth of the doll. He kept that doll in one place. He took up the third doll and inserted the wire. It neither came out of the other ear nor from the mouth. The king and the courtiers were eagerly watching the scene. The minister, paying his tributes to the sage, said, "O revered one, of the 3 dolls, the third one is the best." The 3 dolls actually are symbolic of 3 types of listening. There are 3 types of listeners in the world. The first type listen to every word, only to pass it out from the other ear. The second type listen well, remember it well, only speak out all that they have heard. The third type listen, retain everything that they have heard and treasure it up in their hearts. They are the best type of listeners. The sage congratulated the king and the minister on the successful evaluation of the dolls, and blessing them both, left the court. Shravanam is the first and the foremost among the 9 types of devotion. Having heard the words of the wise, we should try to revolve their meaning and message in our minds and put them into practice to elevate our lives. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Shailen, for sharing your experiences with us. The regional announcements are as follows. Please pray for the sick and the needy and the well-being of the entire world during this pandemic. The regional devotional programs will continue every Sundays with morning prayers from 5:30 a.m. This week's Aum will be conducted by the 𝐂𝐴𝐴 Sai Center. Our regional Veda classes will continue from 9:15 a.m. We should continue with all Go Green activities, that is, the planting of trees, veg gardens and spekboom, and also the making of eco-bricks. We should make every effort to recycle, reuse and reduce. And to assist with this, all your wash cans, paper and electronic items can be dropped off at Sai Prema Ashram. Please contact your Center Go Green champion for more information. Swami has said, sadhana is the spiritual effort the seeker puts in, derived from the root word siddhi, which means to be accomplished in seeking divinity. Sadhana camps are organized over a period of 2 to 3 days activities like prayer sessions, namasmarana, meditation, seminars, workshops and lectures. These are planned to help build discipline plus perseverance. The sadhana camps place great emphasis on character development. Dear Sai family, please remember to join us after this morning's bhajan program as we continue with our online sadhana program. Jai Sai Ram.
We offer our loving and prayerful salutations at the lotus feet of most beloved Bhagwan, a loving Sai Ram and a joyous welcome to each one of you for next 60 minutes of lively, lovely, smiley moments with Sai. Whenever Bhagwan used to speak with students, Swami would say, "Hey, don't have castor oil face." Because castor oil is known to have very difficult smell and taste. Swami would say, be full of smiles. The smile on the face should be booming. It should show the blossoming of joy in the heart. And to spend next 1 hour in this joy, joining me is Brother Aum Deshpande from the Sri Sathya Sai Center for Human Values. I remember James Sinclair, someone whom Bhagwan saved his life. And on one occasion, Swami said, "Sinclair, can you do something for me?" Swami had done so much for Sinclair. And Sinclair said, "Yes, Swami, tell me anything I will do for you." Swami said, "Sinclair, be happy. Can you be happy? That's all I want." And I think this has been the message of Bhagwan. If you look at his entire life, it was all about, please smile, please be happy. They say that laughter is instant vacation. You don't have to spend money, isn't it, Ame? You don't have to go, spend time, money, energy, resources, and go to exotic places. You just laugh and you are in a vacation mode, especially in these times when you really cannot go out. I think laughter is the way to relax, to regenerate, as well as to progress on the spiritual path, isn't it, Ame?
Absolutely. And I must say that today is very special because just spending time in preparing and presenting this, we have had such a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
So we would like to take this opportunity to give our gratitude to you all and to Bhagwan for allowing us to spend the last few days just smiling and beaming and recollecting all those wonderful moments with Swami. Swami says this beautiful quote, and this is a quote that we will see time and again in many of the quotes that we will be presenting today. Swami says, "Spread joy at all times. Do not pour into others' ears your tales of woe and worry. Carry a smile on your face so that everyone who sees you can catch that exhilaration." So that is what we are going to do today in this session, which is going to spread that joy, the joy of having Lord in our life. What else can be there to celebrate than to have the presence of God in our lives, and not just an ordinary God, but our sweet, loving, smiling Lord all the time.
In fact, I remember, Ame, when you're sitting in the darshan ground, especially when you're sitting in the veranda, have you not experienced this scene where everything is silent and suddenly there is this burst of laughter, hey, all smiling coming from the interview room, isn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, one thing that was ubiquitous with Swami, wherever he was, and in case you were in a position where he was not inside, where you were not inside along with him, whether it was the bhajan hall or whether it was the interview room or whether it was the Trai session or the Sai Shruti, anywhere, one thing that would be, that would accompany Swami is that peals of laughter. And I remember, as Brother Bishu was saying, that all of us would be kind of digging our heads into books, studying or reading or something, and then suddenly you will have this, and then immediately it kind of breaks your reverie, and we all used to look at each other, wow, they're having a good time.
Good time.
And you always wanted to be a part of that good time that was there.
Yes.
So the peals of laughter, and laughter was something that accompanied Swami all the time. In fact, I would like you to take a look at this beautiful background that we have today that has been created by our brothers at Radio Sai. I think just having this background with us in our homes, and all the time surrounding us with these beautiful pictures of Swami. Oh my God, what lovely expressions of laughter and mischief. And there is so much, it's multi-layered.
Every picture is such a telling picture. There are tons of stories in each of these pictures. In fact, my mind goes back to so many instances as you look at this wall. When Bhagwan, for example, went to Kashmir, there was this instance where Swami took snowballs and Swami was throwing snow at the members of his group who had gone with him to the Himalayas in the 60s. He was just like a child. Or if you hop into the time machine and we go to Bhagwan's childhood, go to the Chitravati days. So there were days when Swami would go into the sands of Chitravati in the evenings and Swami would be leading the group, and as people were moving, suddenly they'll see that Swami is nowhere there. Swami has disappeared, and so they will start searching for Swami, frantically looking for him in every tree, every bush, every rock. And when they're completely tired, suddenly from nowhere Swami would appear and Swami would say, "Boo!" Swami would do. I mean, there are so many such tales. Or the tale of when Bhagwan came to Vrindavan once, and it was the end of March, and Swami was not talking to anyone in Vrindavan, and all the boys were so sad. They all went into that introspection mode. Why is Swami not talking? Prayers, pining, soul searching started. And the next day, they are in Trai and they are waiting for Bhagwan, praying penitently for Swami. And Swami opens his door and Swami says, "April Fool!"
Wow.
I mean, or that instance when Swami came to the hostel once, senior boys hostel, and Swami asked all the band boys to perform, just impromptu performance. And so all the boys came, but the guy who was really sweating was the drummer, because the sticks were not there. Suddenly he was not able to find the sticks. Everybody's ready. Swami says, start. And this guy is so petrified, and Swami says, what is this? You're so careless. Start the program. And the drummer is fully, he's so penitent, and he's telling Swami, I'm sorry, I'm not able to find the stick. Swami. Then Swami sweetly reprimands him, and then finally Swami flashes that cute smile, and he brings the stick that he was himself holding behind in his own hand. And that nutcut Krishna that Bhagwan was, I think laughter, smile, joy, it was so much a part of Bhagwan. It was in and around Bhagwan, isn't it?
Yes. So why have we taken up this topic? Are we just going to spend the next 50 minutes laughing? Or is there something more to this than what meets the eye? And this is where we wanted to tell you, dear brothers and sisters, is that humor is an essential part of spirituality. In fact, every avatar who has come down has brought with him this one, you can say one weapon, ironically we call it a weapon, or one trump card, which is always this humor. Because oftentimes we feel that spirituality is a very serious business. If somebody smiles, that means he's frivolous, or he is, he doesn't have depth. But in fact, living with avatars and seeing and listening to their mahimas, one thing is absolutely sure is that humor is a part and parcel of spiritual life. In fact, if you look at the life of Rama, the very name of Rama says Ramayate iti Rama, Ramyate iti Rama, right? Which is the one who attracts, the one who always fills our heart with joy.
Yes.
That is Rama. If you look at Krishna, of course, needless to say the amount of fun and the mischief that he had
enchanting,
in Gokul.
Charismatic, charming Krishna.
Right? Once again, Krishyate iti Krishna, the one who attracts. Right? You look at the life of Jesus as well, and oftentimes when you look at his photographs, he may come across to be a very serious and a sober person, but he's actually somebody who was always having fun with all the 13 disciples that he had.
Yes.
And then needless to say about our own Swami, right? Somebody who has always, I'm just reminded of one thing. Let us be very careful when Swami, cracks jokes or, he pulls one on us. Because one of our very senior devotees, he used to say that when Swami speaks to you, you should be attentive. But when he jokes with you, be more attentive, because the most deepest, the deepest truths and the deepest lessons for life are embedded in those jokes.
Because none of these are light moments. They are actually very enlightening moments.
Exactly. Not
they
light,
are
but
light moments. Yes. But they are moments to click.
Yes.
They are moments which will switch on that.
And I think that's also his way of packaging that, very deep lesson in a way that we could just otherwise just pass off. Absolutely. And then he will say, what, I told you this, but you didn't remember, so it could be like that.
Even, talking about this, even if you see Bhagwan's discourses, Swami used to say, my discourses are not lectures, they are mixtures. And in this mixture, humor was an essential, indelible component. If you listen to Bhagwan's discourses, especially discourse in the 60s, 70s, 80s, you would find so many lovely Chinnakathas. In fact, today, it would be our endeavor to share some of those priceless gems with you. So we want to start the first story in Bhagwan's voice. Let's listen to this lovely tale where Bhagwan himself is giving a very, very powerful lesson, but in a way we will never forget in our lifetime.
ఒక సోంబేరి సన్యాసి ఒక గ్రామానికి వెళ్ళాడట.
One sannyasi who was an idler, he went to a village.
పొట్టలో చాలా కాలుతూ ఉంటుండాది, ఆకలి అవుతుండాది. ఏదో ఒక చక్కని ఇల్లు, శ్రీ వైష్ణవుల ఇల్లు, ఇంటికి ముందుగానే మూడు నామాలు పెట్టినారు. దీన్ని గురించారు, ఇది ఎవరో చాలా భక్తులుగా ఉంటున్నారు, ఈ నామముల ఇంటికి వెళదాము, మనకు నామం ఏమాత్రము పెట్టరు అని విశ్వసించి ఆ నామాల ఇంటికి వెళ్ళాడు.
This sannyasi was very hungry. He was in need of food. He found a house where he thought it was a Sri Vaishnava's house, a great devotee, because there were the 3 namas outside. He thought that if we enter this house, he is not going to deceive me. He expected food and he entered the house.
భవతి భిక్షాం దేహి అన్నాడు.
He said, I have come for alms.
ఆ లోపల నుంచి ఒక ఇల్లాలు వచ్చింది. నాయన, మీరెవరో సన్యాసిగా ఉంటుంటున్నారు, ఇదిగో ప్రక్కనే కావేరి నది పారుతుంటుండాది, ఆ కావేరి నదికి వెళ్ళి స్నానం చేసుకొని రండి, ఆకు వేసి అన్నీ వడ్డించేసి పెట్టుతాను, ఊరికే జోల్లో మాత్రం ఇంత బిచ్చం వేస్తే నాకు తృప్తి ఉండదు కనుక నీవు స్నానం చేసి రండి నాయన అని మంచి మాటలతో చెప్పింది.
When the Hazif came out, and on hearing this, she thought that he was a good sannyasi, and she told him, yes, I shall certainly serve you food. What is the point in giving you some food in your own hand? You better go to the river. Kaveri is very close. Have a bath and come back. I shall have food served for you in the leaf ready for you.
ఈ సోంబేరి పోతూ గోవిందేతి సదా స్నానం అన్నాడు. నాకు గోవిందనామమే స్నానము, దాంట్లో స్నానం చేయమక్కర్లేదమ్మా, నాకు త్వరగా పెట్టండి అన్నాడు.
This idler, he said, Govindeti sada snanam. Utterance of the word Govinda is as good as my having taken a bath. I am ready and let me have my food.
ఆమె మాత్రం తక్కువైనటువంటిది కాదు. ఓహో, ఇది ఎవరో సోంబేరిగా ఉంటున్నాడు, రామనామామృతం సదా భోజనం వెళ్ళిరాపు అనిందిట.
She was also up to him. She was quite clever. She said, Ramanamamrutam sada bhojanam. You have had your food, you can go now.
ఈ రీతిగా మనం పదాలు ఉపయోగపెడితే మనకు తిరిగి రియాక్షన్ తప్పక వస్తుంది. కనుక మనము ఇక్కడ నేర్చుకున్నటువంటి పదములంతా కూడాను ప్రాక్టికల్లో పెట్టి మీరు కూడాను తరించి ఇతరులు కూడాను ఆదర్శప్రాయాలుగా మీరు జీవిస్తారని కూడాను నేను ఆశిస్తూ ఆశీర్వదిస్తూ నా ప్రసంగాన్ని విరమిస్తున్నాను.
If we simply use the words and the quotations like that idler, surely we will get back reaction to us. I do hope very much that you will not simply use words like that, but you will put these things into practice. I bless you that you will be able to do this, and I will bring my discourse to a close.
I love you, Lord, I love you. You and I are one. Shirdi Baba, Sri Satya Sai, Narayana Sai Baba. Let's all sing the name of Sai, let us praise the Lord. He has come on earth for us, He is our joy. I love you, Lord, I love you. You and I are one. Shirdi Baba, Sri Satya Sai, Narayana Sai Baba. Let's rejoice and follow Him, listen to His words. Do not look outside for me, I am in your heart. Do not look outside for me, I am in your heart. I love you, Lord, I love you.
The Lord of the universe is here, Swami Satya Sai is here. Come to save devotees everywhere, come to bless His children everywhere. Monak Buddha Party, the Lord of the universe is here. Calm and tranquil like the moon, shining with divine inner light, filling all with bliss at His side. He is always serving those in need, answering
शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थइष्टार्थमोक्षप्रदानं बाबा विभूतिम् इदमाश्रयामि। परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थइष्टार्थमोक्षप्रदानं बाबा विभूतिम् इदमाश्रयामि। परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थइष्टार्थमोक्षप्रदानं बाबा विभूतिम् इदमाश्रयामि।
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि
तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे
सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय
सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे 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 सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।